I can see it very quickly. Pero lo hice afuera. Bueno, mañana voy a hacer 283.
It's 5.5.
We're gonna try the breathing thing again since that was a disaster.
Yes, I will learn that.
What?
I will not let you. I am not let you. One. Don't go drink here.
And 30 seconds to focus. On task, focus, high expectations. If I was practicing, I was trying to focus. And I went like this during the focus time. This is a focused activity. Do you think that would help you get ready to work?
Yes.
Why not?
Why
not?
Why not? It's 30
Well-
seconds there. Yes, because you're focused.
What am I focusing on?
On the get the pencil down.
On the pen. So, the best thing you can do, so I'm focused on like the pen looking up. So the best thing that you can do, you're telling your brain that it needs to pay attention to your pen and up. So whatever you're focusing on, that's what you're telling your brain to like really think about. Okay, so that's why this might be a focused activity, but it's not going to be a great one. Okay, because it's telling your brain to look at the wrong space. Okay, so that's why that would be a no.
I have a question about concentration.
Yeah.
Why we concentrate? Why can't we talk?
Because you're concentrating.
Like while I am concentrating, why I can't talk?
It depends what you're concentrating on. If you're concentrating on talking, then you can talk.
No, but I'm concentrating.
Or are you meaning like in general as an expectation of the class?
Yes.
Great question. Can anybody answer that question?
No.
Emilio.
Because when you breathe 30 seconds and focus 30 seconds, your brain gets ready to learn.
He's ready to learn. If I'm talking, am I concentrating? You're concentrating on your talking.
Yes.
So again, you're telling your brain the thing you need to remember and focus on is the conversation I'm having with my friend right now. Is that going to get you to the knowledge that you need in order to do well and be successful?
No.
All right, cool.
No.
There'll be no more. There won't be any chicken thing.
When
Yeah, study hall Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
we're gonna go to
The makerspace. So a lot of people ask me about the makerspace. Not one person starts their question by saying, Mr. Light, the fact that you planned a whole unit to where we could go to the makerspace every session, I really appreciate it. When are we going again? No one said it that way. That would be I would be like, oh wow. I would really like think about it and like talk to you about it.
Appreciate it.
Right? Like that's a nice way to ask someone something.
Mr. Lai, I appreciate it.
Okay. Now, that being said, you still deserve an answer. This is going to happen. It was too complicated to get into the makerspace before Semana Santa. Okay? The idea was to only have a few groups in there at a time, and then everybody else with me, and then we switch. But that wasn't working out because I couldn't get the space for everybody. So that means we have to wait until after Semana Santa to go back to the makerspace, but we can't even do it the week after Semana Santa. Anybody know why? Tom. Alright, so Tom is happening, map test is happening, and then the following week is map test again, but we do have time, so I've already booked the time. We've already booked the time in there, so you'll only have probably 2 sessions to make and complete your book pages. Now, that being said, we will do all the pre-work in class. So you will design your book pages using Google Drawings in 11 seconds on November 11th. We will do all the pre-work in Google Drawings where we...
Adiante, no entendido.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's only 11:11 once a day. No, twice a day. Such a special thing.
Twice, day and night.
Twice a day. How many times is the broken clock right? Coco?
You need to say
Every day, broken clock. How many times
You
is
need
it right?
to say
A broken clock, one that doesn't move, an analog. How many times is it right in a day? Twice.
Why?
Because it's frozen, right?
I have 1 hour.
2 times a day.
That happens when I
The hour hand moves twice as fast as the Earth rotates. As the Earth rotates once in 24 hours, the hour hand rotates twice in 24 hours. So it travels twice as fast as the Earth rotates. However, the speed of the Earth is like thousands of miles an hour. This doesn't make any sense. So we're moving thousands of miles an hour right now.
But I don't feel it.
No? Just like the fly doesn't feel you driving 75 miles an hour as you're driving, right? 100 kilometers an hour, you have a fly in the car. The fly is moving at 120 kilometers an hour. It doesn't know. We don't know either. It's all relative what's happening. All of this and more can be learned in science.
Cállense.
Here we go. Check your desks, make sure they're lined up, please. This one's going to be all wrong. Because the person was playing with it. It's all just a disaster.
What's that?
Huh?
What's that?
Nunya.
What?
Nunya. Nunya business. If you need to take a break so you can come back and do better, please do. So you can avoid yourself getting into problems. Alright, anything from yesterday?
I need to write it.
Correa, what is the main function of our bones? Structure, perfect. Support. What is the main function of our muscles? Movement. Nicole, what is the main function of our skin? Yeah, holds everything and protects it. Awesome. What is the body's first response to an energy?
Wait.
Marlene. What is the inflammation? What do we use to see if we have a broken bone? Vicente?
X-ray.
X-ray. So again, that was support, movement, hold and protection.
I
hold,
don't get
protect,
4.
for inflammation.
No
So
doubt.
like Rose, can we talk about your finger real quick? So Rosie hurt her finger. You can't really bend your finger, right? Why? Because the body is sending a ton of blood there. So it's starting to swell and she can't bend it. One of the reasons she can't bend it is the body wants that to be immobile. Right? It wants to be immobile. It doesn't want you to move it. And we're going to talk about that more when the body wants to. Okay, but that's
Which one is that 1, that 2, and that 3?
1 is support, 2 is movement, 3 is holding things and protection. All right, today we're going to talk about the circulatory system, our blood, the nervous
And where's
system,
my people?
blood cells, all this good stuff. So write down something that you're going to want to look at. Oh, mitosis, coagulation. It's going to be good times. Here you're learning those. I'm going to do a lot of drawing. I will share an embarrassing moment in my life.
Can you show me?
Which happened just this morning.
And where's my
Okay. It's a matter.
15 questions. And when you give us,
I know, I'm so behind. It's not even funny. I'm so behind. Soon, I hope. It's just like when I start a new unit, I have to learn all this stuff. It takes a long time. And then I can't grade because, but I have to be ready to teach. So then I have to sacrifice something. And it's like grades, but that's not fair to yourself. It's really hard.
How I spell blood, like sangre?
Blood, B-L-O-O-D. All right, here we go. And it's up there. Close your notebooks. All right, we're going to talk about different systems in our body. I'm going to compare the things. What? The brain is what? Not too long. But it's been longer because of all the interruptions. Which is ironic, because then that means you need a break. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm not very good at drawing. I tried to draw a human body earlier, and it's the single worst drawing I've ever made in my life. And I'm not going to share that with you, because it's okay to make mistakes. But you can be like, you can say like, this is just horrifying, because it's bad. This is really bad. I mean, what is that? Like, I was in such a rush, I was drawing it, and then I like stopped here. I'm like, what did I do? Like, that's horrifying. So then I did another one. It looks like a skinny Shrek. I mean, this is just not my strong suit is drawing stuff. So those of you who've been drawing and have spent the time developing that talent, I've always think that's amazing. I wish I put more time into my art figuring it out, but I didn't, and so there we are. All right, circulatory system. We can think of our body like a city. Okay, all of our cells, that's New York City, all of our cells are like the house and apartments, stores, that's our cells. Our body's chock full of cells, billions, chock full of the circulatory system. The circulatory system we can think of as the roads. Okay? Roads lead everywhere. Every building has a road connected to it. Okay? Every store, every shop, every house, there are roads connected to it that connected to other things. That's our circulatory system, is the connection. Our body's kind of like a city. It's a way to think about it. Okay? And our circulatory system is like the roads. This isn't a great metaphor, but it's going to work for a little bit. So what are the things that our circulatory system is made of? Oxygen is kind of outside, but it's an important piece. We have the lungs, we have our heart, we have arteries, capillaries, and veins, all right, and blood. Blood's very important too. So this is a very basic. I'm going to go over it a few times, and I'm going to show you the words. You're going to write something down. So just pay attention right now. Don't write anything down. Notebook's closed. All right, so we have oxygen all around us. So that is O2. O2 is oxygen. What is O2? Oxygen. What is it? What are you saying? Oxygen? I don't know. O2 is, what is it? That's a soccer thing or whatever? All right, great. So we breathe in oxygen, and that oxygen goes to our lungs. I'm going to draw the lungs as a triangle because, again, drawing is not that important when it comes to science. If you want to draw lungs, great, but don't do that now because then you're not paying attention. So these are my lungs. The oxygen goes into the lungs, and then from there it goes into our heart. Okay, so we have oxygen inside of our heart, okay, in the blood. From there, we have arteries that take the oxygen and the blood away from the heart. We can think of arteries. What are they called again? Arteries. They start with an A. They take blood away. So it takes oxygenated blood away from our heart. Again, don't draw stuff now. You're not going to pay attention to the other things. I'll have this up here. So we have our arteries. Now, we have this very special component after the arteries. They're called capillaries. What are they called? Capillaries. Capillaries are really, really important. Again, you have capillaries everywhere. You have billions, probably trillions, I don't know, every little square millimeter of your body. Why don't you scoot in so you're away from them? You have sit up. If you need to stand up in the back, go stand up in the back, do push-ups and sit up. Whatever. Cool. Just stay away. You don't have to touch him. He doesn't have to touch you. But what I'm saying is like this. If I have 3 feet, which I do, so this is what I did. I spent a good amount of my time. I asked things, I researched it, and I said, about how far do desks need to be apart, like front to back? And I found 3 feet. And one of the cool things about my feet is they're a foot. Literally, they're 12 inches. So my shoes are 12 inches. So then this is what I do. I go here and I set to the back at 1, 2, and 3. And then I put the other desk there and I put the piece of tape down on. So it's 3 feet. So if there's 3 feet and you're sitting where you're supposed to be sitting, he can't touch you with his computer. Got it? It's all good. All right, cool. Capillaries. So capillaries are very important. Capillaries, the capillary, it's just a component of the system. The capillary puts the oxygen into our body. What's what? Arteries, like if you look here, like you have the little green things. That's like your transport system for it's like the street.
So from the heart, it goes to the vein.
No, away from the heart is arteries. So arteries and veins are the same. They're like tubes. They're tubes. Okay? So the capillary emits the oxygen into our blood. It also takes in carbon dioxide. So when our blood uses oxygen, or our body uses oxygen, the result is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is poisonous to us. If you are in a room filled with carbon dioxide, you will die.
What is
Carbon dioxide is another type of gas. Okay? It's inside of our body, and so then the capillary takes it out. The reason we have oxygen is when our body uses oxygen, it releases carbon dioxide. It like turns it into carbon dioxide. Oh yeah. That's the beauty of the world.
This one.
Carbon dioxide. We have oxygen, O2, carbon dioxide. The capillary sucks in the carbon dioxide and puts it into the veins.
What is the capillary?
All right. So the capillary is what connects arteries and veins.
What is capillary?
Capillary.
What is that?
The capillary connects arteries and veins, and it releases the oxygen and brings in the carbon dioxide. Once we have carbon dioxide in the veins, that goes back to the heart. It goes into the heart and then into our lungs. And then where does it go? Out. So it goes out into the world. Usually in a normal room, the normal room is about, I'm not gonna get that right. No, yeah, 80% oxygen. I can't remember. All right. So we breathe in oxygen. But listen, we breathe in. Listen, you have a question. Listen to the answer. You breathe in oxygen. You breathe out carbon dioxide. If you have a bag and you breathe into the bag and then you breathe back into it, at some point you won't be able to breathe anymore because it's full of carbon dioxide. Yeah.
You cannot drink carbon dioxide.
Because that's what our body creates. Our body creates carbon dioxide. It uses oxygen, it creates carbon dioxide, and then we send that out. Because the capillaries suck it in, put it in our veins deliver it to our lungs, and then we put it out more.
This guy.
Every time you breathe out, it's carbon dioxide.
I need time.
Did you give it to me?
Yes.
Oh, you gave me paper. Disaster. Do you want me to give you a different one?
Okay, or just whatever.
I tell you, anytime so. Oh! Hey. Good. All right, cool. Take a moment. Write down a little paragraph. How does this work? Go.
I finished.
Write a paragraph. The steps. First this, then that. Paragraph. Write it.
How is AC? What is that?
I think I know.
OC.
Write it down.
What is OC?
OC where? Oxygen. O2. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down.
Mr. Light, can I draw it?
Write it down.
Right.
Write it down.
Only right.
Only write it.
Because if you
Oxygen.
don't, that all the information is and if I draw it,
I just want you to try writing it down first.
Mr. Light, what is the name of? But
Of what?
What would be a title?
I still, Matthias is asking a question. What's that?
What is the name of like the components in English?
Lungs.
The component. Yeah, lungs. That's that first one.
Mr. Light, what is the title?
Circulatory system.
¿Cómo era? Acceso.
Carbon dióxido. Pues, y se escribe O2. Y eso es CO2.
What is COS?
CO2? Carbon dioxide. We're far behind, but we'll catch up.
I finished. I think that
All right, we're gonna move on in 3, 2, 1, 0. This is blood. All right, this is blood under a microscope. This is ours. All the other animals look similar. We have the same sort of components in our blood that other animals have in their blood. And we're going to talk about 4 specific components. Okay? And those components are, we have red blood cells. Red blood cells' main goal is to deliver oxygen. All right, that's what red blood cells do. We have the most, by far, red blood cells. Then we have white blood cells. White blood cells, their job is to fight infections. So when we get sick, our white blood cells kick into gear.
What?
Then white blood cells. White blood, they start acting. The next thing that we have are called platelets. Platelets' job is to coagulate or stick together. So when there's a problem, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, their job is to coagulate and kind of be like a tape. And then platelets. And then finally we have plasma. Plasma delivers all of our nutrients. So whatever you ingest, whatever you eat, it's the plasma's job to take that and give it out to all of your body. Okay, we can think about this as a road.
What is it there?
Platelets. Coagulate. All right, we can think about this as a road. Okay, on Palmas, we mostly have cars, right? We're gonna ignore motorcycles for now. The cars you can think of as our red blood cells. Remember, all the cars would have oxygen in them. That's their main, oh, this broke, job is to deliver oxygen. All right. Then we have the white blood cells. I didn't have a good way to think about white blood cells, but in the last class we talked about it. And we have decided that the white blood cells are like the police. All right, so if we think about a police car, the police car comes into action when there's a problem, when they need to go and arrest somebody. So the white blood cells,
Cars on roads.
it's a metaphor to make sense of our body. So we're thinking of this like cars and like a road to make it understand. It's fine. It's okay. It could be, it might not be. So our white blood cells are the police, so they show up when the bad people show up. That's our infection. Okay, so they respond to an infection. Then we have
The cars, what is?
the cars is our red blood cells. That's our oxygen. And then we have when we have a problem and we're hurt, an ambulance shows up. And the ambulance is our platelets. So that's that quick response when there's an injury is the ambulance. And then finally, we have the platelets. The platelets deliver the goods. And so they're like a big camionette, right? A big semi-truck, big cargo. And they bring the nutrients. Plasma. Did I say platelets? Nutrients. Nutrients. So the very big trucks, they deliver all the goods. All right, so you see the very big trucks, and they have the big semi-truck trailer. They have all the things that stores need. So that's all of our shopping. That's all of our nutrients. What's that? Platelets. Yeah. Hold on a second. Jacobo had his hand up and he was quiet, and that means he has a question, which everyone else would probably benefit from if they would just stop talking and listening. So level 0 of being polite is just not talking. That's like the least polite you can be is not talking. So let's at least be at level 0. Jacobo? Coagulate. Nico, and Jacobo. Hold on a second. Nico, go for it.
Blood cells is 0 to oxygen.
What's that?
0 to
Is O2 is oxygen. Yep.
So the police is the
White blood cells.
white blood cells. So the white blood cells, the blood cells, they go into the.
It's like when we're sick.
Okay, and the ambulance is that
When we get hurt. When we get hurt.
So that's what.
So white blood cell is sickness. Platelets is hurt. When we're hurt. Plastic. You're just stretching. All right. How we can think about this and save it in our memory. One way we can have a list. Doesn't matter why. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. It's still unacceptable. Okay. One way to think of a list is by using the same letters, but in a very kind of funny or weird way. So I thought of a really wide, pregnant potato. So if you think of a really wide, pregnant potato, which doesn't exist, but if you have that image in your head, then you have a chance of remembering the 4 components of blood, which is R, which is the red blood cells, W, which is the white blood cells, and then we have 2 P's for plasma and platelets. Awesome. Go to break? Did I get that right? There it is.
Por favor.
go two of them, they take them out. I don't know. It depends on what.
But in this moment,
There's not change. No, there's no. They're just selling those. How does he offend you? What does he say?
That I was a slave.
You were what?
Slave.
Slave? Like slave? A slut or what?
Like a slave.
Why does he say that? What's up? He threw a pen at you? During break?
This one is bien. No. ¿Qué?
Santiago was there. Can I get here? Can I get Santiago?
Right when I hit him, did you apologize and say, man, that I did not mean to do that, I'm really sorry. You're like, I said like right when it happened. Well, I'm saying like the instant it happens. The instant something happens, that's. But when you use the term "I was going to," it means you didn't do it instantly. And when we don't do something instantly, what do people think?
But he was.
It was with intention. When people think it's with intention, then should he have pushed you? No. But when he thinks,
Yes.
but what? Did you make contact with your hands on his body?
Like here. And I go away. And I didn't push.
Did you make?
No te empujé.
There were like 4 different problems that we had as a class during break. And then coming in, no, just that 7-minute break. 7-minute break. We had several different things happen. We come back inside. There's a problem. Because there's a problem, people are looking at their computer about what your GPA, like what's going on. Is that what it is? Everyone's all stressed out about all their scores and going to Canada. Is that what it is? Like what? Is that what all the cause and the problem is? Is that what's causing the poor decisions and the behavior? Okay. That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? It doesn't make sense for you as a person if you're wanting to go to Canada and then you get upset about your scores to then do worse things to lower your scores. Unless you really don't want to go to Canada.
I want to go.
Okay. So, like, my thought is this, and this is what I'm going to pitch for next year. I know it doesn't apply to you all, but I'm going to say, listen, like, just whoever wants to go to Canada, let them go. Just let them go. Because there's little things that we need to change in the classroom. And those little things, like if you interrupt, I send you out and you go do work. And you don't bother anyone else in the class. And then you have to make up the class from this work too. That's why things should happen. And I don't think you need that many opportunities to sit there and be quiet. And have respect for everybody else. Because at this point it seems like we encourage each other to interrupt. And oh, it's cool to do this and that. So we have to make it really, really uncool. Which usually means like extra work. So if you don't want to be in this classroom, you would be sent to a different room to do different work. And then you have to make up the work that you're missing here. Like, and then maybe we can get through stuff without people interrupting things. Coco, do you have a question? You just stretch.
Yes.
What's up?
So why are you saying that next year you suggest that you don't need like the will be yes.
Right, because the other thing is this too. I think we should demand threes out of all of you. If you don't get threes on like summatives, you have to come in on like weekends and days after school and stuff like that. Because why else are you here? Really, why else are you here if not to complete work and get good grades? And if you can't do that in a class, then that means you need extra support, and that's fine. Right? But so maybe that's the motivation some of us need to not interrupt and to do well. Right? So that's what I think. Those are my thoughts. Now, I don't know if we're going to finish. And this is 2 recordings in a row that the class has just been atrocious. Right? So if parents watch this stuff, they get to hear everything that you say. Right? And all the things that happen. So it doesn't matter if we're recording or not, you're still representing all of that. Right? You come in here and you say, these are my values. This is what I'm doing and this is what I believe in. And this is what my parents expect out of me. I mean, right after a break's not a good time. Whatever you miss, you do.
Wow.
Somebody's went to the restroom. All right, so now we're going to talk about the nervous system. That's why I made the really bad drawing of the human body. But the nervous system is important, even though it looks like a very skinny Shrek or troll or something. The nervous system has 3 components to it. It has our brain, the spinal cord, and nerves. So it starts here in the head with our brain. The brain is connected to the spinal cord. You can feel the spinal cord. It's protected by your backbone. It's a cord that goes all the way down. Okay, and then it spreads from there. And then we have nerves everywhere. Okay, nerves touch every single portion of our body. Okay, we're chock full of nerves, chock full of blood cells, all of that, the veins, capillaries, everything. Why? Because when we have a problem, things need to happen. And one of those things that happen. So the very first thing, we get injured. Our nervous system communicates to our brain saying we have a problem. And it normally communicates via pain. Okay, so it says sends a signal to the brain saying we are in pain, there is a problem. The brain then communicates back to that area and says, hey, there's something going on, we're bleeding, I need to send a lot more blood there. Why? Because that's where our platelets are. Our platelets are in our blood. The platelets' job is to stick together, okay, and to stop the bleeding. So it coagulates. So if you get cut and it starts to get sticky, that's the platelets. The platelets are sticky. It's like glue. It's like a Band-Aid. Sticky. Pegado? Pegado. Okay? Pegajoso.
No, guys, don't get pegajoso.
It should get sticky. Like if you cut, after a while, it gets sticky because like blood is sticky in general.
And why when you
What's that?
bloating?
Huh? When you're bleeding?
Yes, when you're bleeding, why it sends more.
It sends more, so there's more platelets. Again, depending, it doesn't really know the severity of the injury. It wants to immobilize things. It wants to protect it with all that blood around it. And then the next thing happens. So when you stop bleeding, remember our houses in that city, about New York City, the metaphor, those are our cells. And this is what happens next. So pay attention to this cell.
What is there?
Just pay attention to it.
That is our blood.
I think it's animal blood, but same thing.
Animal.
What is it?
Hey! So that one single cell made an exact copy of itself. So if you didn't see that, why is this not moving? Watch it again. Watch this one cell.
Why did it separate?
What is the thing that is up?
Probably other cell stuff.
That is nothing.
So it's separate. And now we have two completely new, like one new cell. So we have one cell and that divides into two, creating two cells. It's called mitosis. And why would our body want that? Do you need to go and do something else? Please do it. Because whatever the damage is, it has damaged cells, and our body needs to replace that with new cells. So if we have a bone problem, then the bone cells get to regenerate. If we have a muscle problem, the muscle cells start to regenerate. If it's the skin, then the skin cells start to regenerate.
So we have cells for everything.
Cells for everything. Cells for your hair, whatever part of your body is made up of cells. Okay, it's made up of cells. Everything.
Everything is made out of cells.
Everything's made out of cells. Except for the cell. The cells are made out of other cells.
How was it like? This is how are they
But then those things are probably made out of cells.
Te pegaron las células.
But at some point, it's all down to atoms.
Like
At this point, you have 8 minutes. This is your elaboration. Your job is to draw a diagram, so you don't have to show movement if you don't want, of the human body reacting to a problem. So all the things we talked about, the circulatory system, the blood, and the nervous system. What does that look like? Draw a diagram.
How good
This is your elaboration.
What is that?
You can do a model if you want, but a diagram doesn't show movement. A diagram is a model of that movement. Nervous system combined with the circulatory system combined with the blood. All of it. All three things. All three things.
I can make if you something, then I like escribir.
Entonces,
Do I have to show?
Try to draw. Try to draw. My bigger one. Again, it's just the idea is trying.
Mr. Light, Mr. Light, can you hold?
Please.
Mr. Light, look, this is food.
So these are all the different terms we've talked about. So all of that on some level should be in your diagram. No, it's not. This is the one that we have access to. Funny book.
Marica, que te sientes feliz. Solo
Well, it's
legal.
for the oxygen and then the platelets. Platelet coagulants. The platelet is the glue. Platelets are there to stop bleeding. No, these are separate things. This doesn't become that. They're all together. And all the drops of blood have also.
And
No
so
question.
can I draw one you cut that and then make it up and then how the nerve cells like how it's called what it says to with blood.
Platelets?
Yes.
But remember, in any drop of blood, you have white blood, red blood, platelets, and plasma. In any drop of blood. So the reason we send more blood there is to get more platelets, more nutrients, more oxygen. The platelets.
How do I make the platelets?
The glue.
How do I make the platelets?
However you want.
So like, so what I do here,
Okay. And then also try to get every single one of these in. Again, your job is to try and draw a diagram that has all of this stuff in it. All of it. Go for what? Yep.
So, can I draw the
What?
Your belly is hurt. What would you tell me
Mr. Light.
he hit him.
Mr. Light. I draw more.
Arteries. The arteries is the way. One of the things coagulate this together. So there to stop. Focus in. So they stop us bleeding. The blood's still there. And then we get into mitosis. When that happens in your life, you can write me a thing.
Pero parece que se quitaron.
But again, you should try to get as many of those words on there as possible. Again, the challenge is getting almost every single word on your diagram. If you do not have every word yet, you're not finished. That's fine. But standing up and talking, every word. Every word.
what?
The challenge is every word.
And what
But you still have 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Why have such low expectations for yourself? What's not fair? Nico, every word on your diagram. Every word. High expectations. Don't have low expectations for yourself. Push yourself. Huh? So, move. I was blocking all the words.
Yo puse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
90 seconds.
I put nutrients.
Ya te otro. Oh, no está diciendo.
Bartolini.
No te dije a vos. Te dije a Coco.
Great question. What is if we break our back and we break our spinal cord, what happens?
You get paraplegic.
There's no communication.
We get paraplegic.
Right? That's why you can't move, because your brain cannot communicate to your muscles to move. So that even goes in like injuries and like getting cuts. Like your brain doesn't know. And if your brain doesn't know what's happening, it can't send help. So if you have problems with your nervous system, your choice. All right, 90 seconds. Check your desk. Make sure it's aligned. Or 30 seconds. 90. I understand that. What I'm saying is, like, when we do something by accident, even if we don't mean to do it, we need to own it immediately. Other people think we're doing it on purpose. So focus on what you did. I understand you should not have done that, and I believe. I need to do that. Not yet. So there's a lot of things I have to fill out. But thank you for asking. Choose your level of difficulty. Really wide pregnant potato.
What?
Red cells, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma.
Red blood cells and white cells.
Why is it important for blood to reach all parts of the body?
You don't enseñar how to.
I did, but you have to think about it.
Ponele lógica.
Red cells, white cells, plasma, what?
Why would we want blood everywhere in our body? Right, because every part of our body needs oxygen, it needs nutrients, it needs platelets also.
It could be to feed our body.
To stay alive, I can put that.
To feed our body.
Well, what is the answer? Is it life?
Because our body needs like nutrients, it needs protection, it needs everything.
Body needs everything.
What is easy?
Did everything get right? I have a question. That was my logic. Red cells, white cells, plasma, and what?
Platelets.
How do nerves
Platelets.
help the body respond to injury?
How do nerves help the body respond to energy? Injury?
It sends a signal to the brain.
Yo puse it sends blood.
Buena. No, porque el cerebro es el que manda el blood. Ahí estamos hablando del nervio.
The nervous system communicates. It tells the brain where it's happening, and the brain sends messages back. It's the communication.
Can I say it sends signal?
Why does the body send a lot of blood to an injury site?
How is called that thing that is pegajosa?
Platelets.
How do I say
Platelets to put oxygen there. Mostly the platelets to stop bleeding. To stop bleeding.
It's to stop bleeding.
The platelets. The platelets stop bleeding. The platelets coagulate to stop bleeding. Once the bleeding stops, what happens next?
What was the first one?
Platelets to stop the bleeding. To stop the bleeding. Augustine. To stop the bleeding. Mitosis. Reflect on your learning.
I can't fix it.
No.
Turn in what you need to turn in. Push in your desk. Enjoy. Or was like stop bleeding.
And the five.
Mitosis. Mitosis.
How I write it?
best you can. Mitosis.